Hello and welcome back to more of Manufactoria 2022. We are currently wrapping up some of the most complicated puzzles in this section. We finished all of the high complexity ones, and now we are going on to the very high complexity ones. So I think I'm just going to go down the list here from top to bottom and get started with Peacekeeper. So let's see. Recent disturbances in West Africa had escalated into violence, leaving several dead. If compared to volunteer services, we would do a better job of running police action than a force of unstoppable machines. I think, yes, I did look at this last time. Okay, so this one is make all tasks the same size as the largest one, then produce. And as a reminder, a task is a number of blues followed by a red, which is why the input here will always end in a red, because everything's in a task. So let's see, what was my idea here? Oh yes. So my idea was remove one from each task that has at least one. And then when I get to the point when there are no tasks that have any blues in them anymore, start writing back to each of the tasks. So basically, the largest task here is 3. So once we've subtracted 3 from all the tasks, we know we have 3 tasks, and they each need to have 3 inputs, and then you start writing them back in. So add 1 to this task, and this task, and then we finally finish when we have no more left to add. Okay, so I'm mostly gonna need to delete this at some point, but maybe I'll just leave this down here for the moment as like a little bit of a reminder. Alright, so the first step will be... Okay, so I'm going to want to loop through all the tasks. So I'm definitely going to need something to mark where the end is. And then I will go and see. Okay, so if I see a red, then that's okay. I'm always going to want to write the red back and continue on with the next folder. The first blue I see, I'm going to want to delete, but any subsequent blues I see, I am going to want to write back in, because I only want to delete one of them. And then if I see a red, same as before, I just want to start with the next folder. Okay. So let's see what this looks like. So something like this. So let's see, we want something that will delete 1 from each folder if it has any. So we'll get to 1, 0, 3, 1 blue, 0 blues, 3 blues, and we want to turn it to 0, 0, 2. So the first one, see a red, it gets deleted. That turns into 0. Here we have a red, that just gets moved to the back, so a 0 stays 0. And the one with 3 in it, we delete the first one, it becomes 2, and we go back to the start. And then we see a yellow. So what are we going to want to do after the yellow? I think we're going to want to mark that we've seen a blue. We're also going to want to remember to add that yellow back in that we just deleted. And then a blue, and maybe restart, I'm thinking I might need to use a green also at some point, but let's see what this leads to. The same idea as before, it's just when it's done, we have a blue at the end. Okay, so then let's... Yeah, I think I will want to have a green separator as well. So it'll be something like this, and that will just help keep these blues and reds separate. Let's see what this looks like. We get through the yellow, we're going to rate a blue, and then we'll need to cycle through the green. We might have more blues though. So we do something like this. Okay, so the idea here is that we want to keep all the blues we've already seen and just wait until we get to a green to see the start again. So if we jump forward to where we were before, see. Oh, this is right. So we get to the point where we see the yellows. We delete that yellow, write it back, add the blue that we've deleted from all the folders, and then go and we loop through blues until we see a green, which in this case there aren't any to loop through. We move the green to the back. But if we run it through this whole process again, so you can see once we're at this point, we've reduced another blue from this folder. It originally had 3, so it's down to 1. So we go, we see the yellow, consume it, write it back, and add another blue. And then we have to move that first blue we had added the previous time around to the back as well. So now we have 2 blues. Great, and the issue here, of course, is that I haven't figured out how to end this machine. So this gets passed back in, and once we get back up here, right, this is this line here. We've gotten that far. The question is just, we need to make sure that we need to act differently if we've only seen reds before the yellow versus if we've seen at least 1 blue. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that we'll probably need another scanner here. So if we continue through this and end early, we can just say we're done. But if we see at least 1 blue, we'll have to loop back up here. So let me see. Okay, so let's think through how that would work. We have at least 1 blue, which means we kind of want to copy through this process, right? So if we have this, yeah, we're going to want the same process there as before. And then these should go here, and let's just route it around the whole thing for the moment. Okay. Well, let's move this over even further. This part is fine. The question is, if we read a single blue, I think we want to go past this blue reader here. Yeah. I want to link from here to here. This will work, but it's a very bad layout. And I can actually simplify this quite, well, not quite a bit, but we can do that. And that. And then I think we should know we're done here. But let's just see if this works. So we start 103. So here we go. Delete a blue. Start this cycle. Okay, so the 1 does become a 0. Nope. So the 1 becomes a 0. The 0 stays a 0. The 3 becomes a 2. And we get through this again. Alright, great. So we have this line works properly. And if we go through again, we should go from 200 to 100. Yep, so, sorry, I said those numbers backwards. But we have a group of 0, a group of 0, and a group of 1 now. And, yep, we have 2 afterwards. So we go through once more. And we are at 3 files with 3 each. And this should drop on the floor. Great. That is basically what we want. Okay. Should I bother making this simpler? So this blue one comes up to here, whereas this needs to go to here. Alright, well, I have a couple ideas for making this more compact. First, this can just go here, and we can reuse that green writer. Double check that works. Yep, that's the same output. We can these up here. And also turn this blue writer so that that whole section's a bit more compact. We can slide these up at least one. And I don't really like this whole section. I feel like there's a lot of wasted kind of space here. This can at least move here. And okay. I'm just going to give myself one more row to work with before I move on to the second part of the machine. So if we add this pipe here, and we go here, and then we've basically got into and then we've basically seen and gone through these points, so we just need to do the rest of this here. Okay. I put this robot backwards. So we run through this. Alright, so at this point we've got 3 yellows and at this point we have 3 blues and 3 reds. So now we need something that will delete a blue and then add a blue before each red. Okay. Well, I think first off we are going to want to add this yellow back in that got deleted. And then we need to delete 1 blue. After that, we need to keep going until I think we see the yellow. So probably actually want this. And then for each red we see, no, we will want to, alright, so the first red we see, we are going to want to write in a blue. But then we will want to replace any blues we see. Right? This seems wrong. Alright, so we get down here. We've deleted 1 blue of the wrong color here. This is green, not yellow. Okay, so we have 3 blues. We delete 1 blue. And this should be a green. But we will, we're at the start here, so we will loop through, I think we can start with blues, so we have to loop through those. And once we see a red, we're going to want to add a blue and add that red we just saw. And then do it again, except we'll need to delete a blue first. Okay. Three blues, three reds. This should get replaced with a green. We see a red, so we add a blue and a red. See a red, add a blue and a red. See a red, add a blue and a red. And then when we see the yellow, we need to... Okay. This one is right after we consume a green. If we see a yellow, I think we need to go back to the start of this whole subcomponent, but that requires us to write the yellow back in and also to cycle through the blues again. We cycle through the blues again until we see a green and write in the green again. See if this does what I think it does. So we get to 3 blues, 3 reds. We remove a blue. Cycle through until we see the folders. And then we go, and for each folder we add a blue. So we've added a blue to each task. A yellow. We add that back in. We cycle through the blues. We add the green back in. So now... this is not quite right. You're at the... Oh! I think this thing is trying to do what this part already does. So I think I can just do this instead, because this should delete a blue and then cycle through until the greens. So we go through until we get to the machine. On the second part, 3 blues and 3 reds, adds a blue to each of them. It's the yellow at the end. And then we have 2 more blues we need to add to each folder. That's what the 2 blues in front of the green means. So we go through the cycle again. Comes through this machine, and yep, now each folder has 2, and we still need to add 1 to each folder. We go through a 3rd time. We've added another 1 to each folder, so each folder now has 3. And we read, and then we drop on the floor. Great. So at that point, we just want to consume a green, and then I could probably save some time here by doing an earlier check, but I think if I just cycle through everything that's red and blue until I get to a yellow here. So just to make it clear that this is like a separate thing, and then put that as the finish. So runs through here. I still need to add 2 blues. Each task has 1. Go through again. Need to add 1 blue because each of the tasks has 2. Through again. Don't need to add any tasks, or any blues, because each of the tasks is up to 3. We delete the green, and we've got an extra yellow on the end, so we just cycle through our reds and blues until we drop in. Okay, so complicated, but let's see if this works for everything. There we go. Let's see. The initial prototypes had been armed, but Danica argued that a weapons array wasn't a great look for our peacekeepers. The originals weren't a total loss, though. I had them stationed all around the factory for security. I was sure we'd find more uses for them soon. Okay, I've got to show you this little drawing. A friendly police bot with murder guns. I think it's cute. Okay, so honestly, we can get rid of all of this stuff, which will make it a little bit better, and let's make this whole thing a little bit more compact. Not really required, but good that here. Yeah, honestly, not trying to make this too crazily efficient. I actually think it might be helpful to just do this to make it clear if I come back to it, like more of how this works, because I'd rather not do optimizations right now that like obscure the details, right? And I don't think this red checker actually ever sees reds, but it looks like it's right. You know, I'm trying to write it. So let's double check that this all works. Okay, yeah, so this helps show that it's like 2 separate machines that are just joined together and makes the logic for how each of them works a bit more clear. So that one went pretty well, I think. And that is basically time for this episode. I'll get started on Public Defender next time, which is another very high complexity one. Looks like there's some sort of symmetry thing going on here, but we'll get into those details next time on Manufactoria 2022. Right, hope you all enjoyed the episode and have a nice day.